My father was a player.
It's gonna call it.
Some league. You're not money. We're not money.
Yeah.
Money is the only thing that everybody loves. Everybody. Even the ones who say, I don't care. You love it secretly. Okay? Yeah.
Where I used to tell people I don't have a father.
College is a scam.
You know, like John Maxwell, he always ask questions.
Because when you make somebody else feel good, you feel good too.
You feel good too. Yo, it's your boy, LJ Chaplin, with Lady Caesar, bringing to you Chilling with the Chaplins, where we deep dive, giving you practical concepts in ministry, business, relationship, and personal development. So we can take control of our life. Let's go and let's get it started. Welcome to Chilling with the Chaplains. It's your boy LJ with the one and only my lovely wife, Lady Caesar. She's in the building. Yes, you know we're about that vibe each and every week. You know what I'm saying? You got us, you know. So we want to jump right in. And we want to talk about dealing with being overlooked.
Overlooked. How many of you feel like that?
How many of you feel
overlooked?
Overlooked. Unappreciated.
Yes.
Unmotivated.
Yes, and I think this week we coming from that, platform as well, where we both feel like we've been overlooked and we've been unseen. You know, as much as we've done the effort that we've put in, but people just don't appreciate
you.
Us.
Yes.
You know, and I know we're not the only ones who feel this way.
Yes. It's a lot of people in the world that feel unappreciated.
Yeah.
That feel they overlooked.
Yeah.
You know, whether on your job,
yeah,
whether in school,
yeah,
whether among your family and friends.
I think it starts there.
It definitely starts there.
It starts with family.
It starts at home.
It starts actually from a young age.
Yes.
You know, we spoke about healing the inner child this other time. It starts from being fragmented from something that happened when you were young. And I know for me, if you could just share some personal experiences with this, is I felt some abandonment when my father abandoned me, if I could put it that way, when he did not choose me over my brother. You know, we were both born out of wedlock. I've never shared this with the chillers. I was born out of wedlock. My father was a player.
It's gonna call it.
Some league. He was a player. So he played my mom and my older brother's mom at the same time. And he got them pregnant at the same time. You heard it right.
And how many men is like that?
And they weren't even living far from each other. They weren't living in the same location. Well, almost the same, neighboring locations rather. You know, neighboring townships, neighborhoods.
Yes.
And so my brother is born December 1980.
1980.
I'm born March 1981. So we are literally 3 months apart. You know, and these two women, I think they didn't know that they were in competition until we were born. And there's something called going to Biga Isisu, which is you're going to declare that you've impregnated somebody. And I remember my mom telling me that they, when they went, because of course it's gonna happen. I'm second for my brother, because my brother was pregnated first, than his mom. They probably went there first, and when they went there second for my sake, they said, we just had somebody just come in, and reported, Linda, you've been busy. And my father, he was a handsome dude, right? Lord, may his soul rest in peace. He was a handsome dude, very soft-spoken. You'll never hear my father scream. And he'll be like, he had this quirky laugh. He'd be like, ho, 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 ho. I'm sure that's what took my mom and the other woman, And so, then mom realized she was in competition with someone, and things started to happen because now they were fighting for my father's attention.
Yes.
Witchcraft my mom received some witchcraft. There's something called istrito. So istrito is like when your competition sends you a spell, and you start smelling bad for your partner. Whenever your partner is around you, they feel like you're smelling.
Okay.
Your face starts changing. You have pimples, and you just look like a frog. Your face literally turns into a frog. Like, it's all bumpy. My mom was in that state. And my father, of course, decided not to choose her because of what was being put in her. This is what I hear. I was not there, of course, because I was a baby, but I remember that even as I grew up, when I asked why I did not take my father's last name, my mom had to tell me that no, because you are a girl, your father decided to choose you over your brother, because your brother isn't, he was called by my father's last name, so they paid damages for him, so that he's received into the family, and damages were not paid for me. And that fragmented me as a child, because I felt rejected and abandoned, And I remember, and I'm just so glad that the Lord had protected me all these years, where, when you have daddy issues, you go around looking for daddies, and I'm glad that I did not go through that. I probably did in some way or the other, but not like change men like underwear looking for that daddy. And I think it's just God's covering. But that's when I felt like I was being overlooked, because my dad did not see me as his child, chose somebody else over me. And that made me grow some resentment for a very long time, up until I started healing from that inner child, from that fragment of being rejected by my own father. I remember when he died, I think my sadness was not from him dying, and not being able to see him ever again, but it was more coming from not having had that daughter-father relationship. Of course, one of his youngest brothers played that role with me, very much so. As a result, it caused a little drift between his own son, this younger brother, because my father's younger brother showed me more love than he showed his own son, which didn't make sense. And his son was the only child. And I know what it feels like to be rejected by your own father, because I felt that. And it's sad that as a child, I did not realize that I was taking it from somebody else, because I didn't ask for it, right?
Yes.
And so when somebody, and I know that that cousin of mine is going through some stuff because of that situation where his father kind of gave me more the love than he did him. And if he's listening, if he watches our podcast, I just want to say, I'm really sorry that you have to go through that. If I had another way of doing it or reversing the clock, I would. But when somebody gives you love that you so much need, you receive it. You don't reject it.
You don't reject it.
And I needed my father too. It's different to be getting love from somebody's father when you know that they're not really your biological father, than to get it from your own father. So I think for me, that's where being overlooked started, where I felt like my father did not acknowledge me as his child, even better as his daughter.
Yes, and that is a point. And I believe that's where it does start.
Yeah.
It does start when you're a child, because a lot of times we do go through things as children.
Yeah. When did yours start? When did you start feeling overlooked?
When I was old enough to understand. When I was old enough to understand.
So what happened that made you feel like, oh, I'm being overlooked?
One of the things is also with my father, because my father used to promise me things. He used to say we could take me to a game. He used to do, and then didn't do it. And so when he didn't do it, I felt disappointed.
Yeah.
I felt the hurt, like, man, you promised, but and then eventually I developed this numb feeling, like, okay, he's not gonna do it, so it's okay, whatever, But deep down inside, I really wanted to do it,
So you still kept asking?
Yeah, I still kept asking because I really wanted to go to the game, but not doing it, and just little things like that, him, and then by being. Growing up, by being the shortest person probably till I probably started being, I was the shortest because everyone passed me in growth probably when I was 10 years old. And so being the last person picked, or, people overlooking you, even, in high school, and when you want to date, but, the girls would go to the tall ones, the taller ones you want to date,
and you had a squeaky voice for
so time. They overlook you because maybe they feel like you wasn't boy enough, so these little things, it was hurting me because I'm like, you know what, maybe I'm not, maybe, what's wrong with me?
You start doubting yourself.
Yes, you start doubting yourself, and that's where
and it creates low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem, yes, because I'm like, okay, is something the problem? Is something wrong with me? And so, but it started with that, and it took me to get saved to understand. Because I used to hate my father. I used to despise my father. This resentment because he wasn't there for me. Where I used to tell people I don't have a father.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I used to tell people I ain't have a father. I used to lie, or I used to say make up a father.
Wow.
Yeah.
You made a father?
Yeah, I made a father. I said I have a father, or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, because I resented. But it took for me to get saved and the Lord to deal with me, to realize why that happened. It took me to understand because my father didn't have a father. So how can he father someone that he don't know how to be a father?
Nice. We can do what we know.
Exactly. And that's what he was doing. He thought money was solving the problem. So he do these little things. He buy me things to shut me up. He take me to McDonald's, when we was young on Wednesdays. He buy me games, so he buy me something that was good enough, but
compensating
exactly for his presence. And really, I really presence, and not that was nice. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but I still wanted his presence. I'd rather have presence than the money or going to McDonald's. But it took me to understand that he didn't have a father. And so for those that don't have a father, and don't understand and feel like, why I'm being overlooked, and you gotta understand, maybe your father didn't have a father and he don't know how to love the right way. He don't know how to father the right way. Even go for mothers. Maybe your mother, we know why your mother abandoned you, because she didn't have a mother that know how to have this motherly love.
She was abandoned
too. She was abandoned too, so it go both ways. A lot of times,
I see it as a generational curse.
Yes, it's a generational curse. A lot, and especially in a black community, and it all boiled down to slavery, because a lot of times the father was taken from the home, and so when the father was taken,
do you know whatever happened to your father's father?
No, my father don't even know his father.
Wow.
Never met his father.
So who's Chaplain? Chaplain is his mom.
Is the mom? Yes, Chaplain his mother. Yeah.
So he was never introduced to his father?
Never introduced. Only thing I know of, that his name is J.C. Springs. That's it. And he's from Beaufort. No, not from Beaufort, South Carolina, but he's from South Carolina, but right across Beaufort.
So we were supposed to be Springs, not Chaplain.
Yeah, we supposed to be Springs.
I'm Mrs. Springs. I think I like Chaplain better.
Yeah, that's all.
So we both, this is interesting, Chaplain Chillers, we both are using our maternal
last name. Yeah.
Because that's your father's maternal?
That's his mother's name. Because his father's name his last name was Springs.
Wow.
So for anyone that's in South Carolina, and your last name Springs, You know,
Could be
please
related.
reach out to us. But yeah, reach out to us. I would love to learn and know my father's side of the family because I don't know nobody from my father's side of the family. Nobody from his father.
How did you get to know the name?
His mother told. I think family finally told him. Family told him the name, but they didn't introduce him to the father.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was his father, had he passed away by then?
I don't even know. I don't think so. When he got older, he probably passed away down, but but when he was growing up, and I think as he got older, he just didn't care. He didn't care. They told him, they never told him when he was small. So when he got like 20s, he never went out to search on his own. Yeah, look for himself. Yeah.
But I'm glad that you are aware of this now, and you're gonna break that generation.
Yes, and that's one thing.
And you'll be a present father.
That's one thing. That's one thing. That's the reason why I always say when I do have children, I want to make sure I'm married because I don't want my children to experience that. And then also,
but your father was married.
Also, you're right, but also, he was not. But still, he didn't have a father in his life to know how to raise a child, and also be present in my children's life. Now, and this is why it's critical that. Because I didn't have a father in my home, I had to look in other ways how to be a father. Because I didn't have, it was just shown to me.
Explain that.
Look to maybe other good fathers that being there for their children, how that person is being present with their children. And then
you had fathers who from the neighborhood that you would look up to.
No, this could be somebody for TV as well.
Really?
Yeah, it could be somebody.
Like who? Bill Cosby?
It could be Bill Cosby. Yeah, Bill Cosby. Shows like Bill Cosby. And that's one of the things I think for most black families, most black men, we looked up to Bill the Cosby show and like, this is the kind of family that we want.
Yeah.
Because he showed that for us. And so but looking at family like that, Bill Cosby, and seeing things. Different famous people that
Prince
I looked up to. Yeah. I like the masterpiece. So I like how he dealt with his family. So things like that. So
and when you don't deal with these feelings of resentment and being overlooked, it grows on you.
Yes, it grows on you.
And you still see it even in your adulthood.
Yes.
And it really affects your capabilities because you feel like whatever that I do, nobody will ever recognize and appreciate me or even applaud me because everybody wants to be applauded. Everybody wants to be told you did a great job. Although we don't do it for that, but it's always nice, especially to hear from your family.
Yes.
From your friends, people that mean something to you, to tell you that you've done well.
Yes.
And for them not to wait for you to be successful. Before they acknowledge and cling on to you.
Yes.
Because that's the biggest mistake we do as black people. We start acknowledging people and associating ourselves with them once they've made it. But while they're still on their way to making it or while they're hustling, we don't acknowledge them. Something as simple as liking a post on Facebook.
Bring that up.
I will bring it up because it hurt me. It hurt me for the longest of time. It did. It hurt me for the longest of time. Probably still does, but I've just grown numb to it now.
Yes.
Because you see family members liking everybody else's pictures, but not yours, and you wonder why don't they appreciate me as a family member?
Yes.
It hurts. Other people will like you, but if it comes from a family member, it's double the like.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But then I've come to a point where I don't care, which is not a good thing. Because you want to care.
Yes, you want to care.
But I've come to a point where you cannot force people to like you.
Yes.
I love what Lisa Nicole says, and I always quote this, that I woke up and I liked myself first.
Yes.
Your like is just a bonus. It's a bonus. Because if I'm dependent on your likes, then I will lose it. Because sometimes you'll wake up and you'll decide not to like me.
Yes.
Or you'll put a thumbs down instead of a thumbs up. And guess what will happen? If I'm so reliant on your likes, I'm going to crash. It's going to crash me. It's going to hurt me. So I've come to a point where I'm like, well, if they like me. That's why you see most of my posts. I like my posts first. I always like my posts.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube channel. This channel, I like it first before you like it. Because if you decide not to like it and you go, whatever, not her again. Because some people will come, they will stalk you. They are like satellite dishes.
Yes.
You know, they like a big brother. They'll be knowing your business. But you never see a comment from them to acknowledge what you're doing. You never see a like from them. You never hear them even talk about what you're trying to achieve. But watch until they make it. I'm sure Oprah Winfrey went through the same thing.
Yes, she went through the same thing.
Now that she's a multi-billionaire, guess what? Everybody wants to be her relative.
And y'all, everybody, you come up.
Everybody wants to be her friend.
Family, and you come up with family that you're not like, what? We family?
They say from the woodwork. Yeah.
You come up, you start seeing family that you never knew were family.
Yeah.
Everyone become your family.
But they never knew you when you were nobody. Which is actually sad. And I always say, take the bus with me before I start taking the limo.
Yes.
Because guess what? If you don't want to take the bus with me, then when the limo comes, I will not take you with me.
Yes.
I will take people who have been there with the journey with me, who understand, who's not just there for the benefits.
Yes.
That's real relationship.
That's real. My thing now is, what the Lord given unto me is now just look for the people that's just like you. Don't worry about nobody else, because not everybody is not for you, and I get it, I understand it.
You're not money. We're not money.
Yeah.
Money is the only thing that everybody loves. Everybody, even the ones who say, I don't care, you love it secretly, okay? So don't stop fooling us. Money is the only thing that everybody loves and will do anything to get it. That's why we go to work even when we don't feel like it.
When we don't feel like it, that's
we need that money. But a person, people have a choice to like or not to like.
Yes.
And we have to be comfortable with that. And you will find that it's mostly family.
Yes.
That will have some kind of thing towards you, because they don't want to see you be better than them. They like to see you down there. Because they feel like if I add a like to them, they rather go give a celebrity who's made it already than to give you who really needs it.
Yes.
Because the likes help with the algorithmic. Especially when we're doing the digital creating.
Yeah.
Likes help with, comments help with algorithmic. Our videos are able to be seen by more people. When you like, when you comment,
when you share
But when you don't, when you just come and be a satellite,
a satellite, nosy, a nosy buzzer,
there's a word for it. Spiritual it's I forgot, but when you come and just being nosy and not contributing towards what we're trying to build, then you're not helping us in any way. But then we realize that that's what happens when you're trying to work your way up to success.
Yes.
And people will only love you once you've made it.
Yes.
But while you're trying, they don't want to associate themselves with you in case you fail.
Yes.
Because they don't want to be associated with failures.
Yes. They only want to be associated with winners. Yes. And and that's my thing now. I just look for me and understand and not worry about who's for me, who's not for me. Those who for me gonna support me. Those who for me, they're the ones that I'm gonna add value to. They're the ones I'm gonna pour out my heart to, because these are the people that want to hear me.
And God will bring those people your way.
And
there's always somebody out there for you.
I agree. And so right now we want to help people how to overcome being overlooked. Because you can make some changes and make some steps to overcome being overlooked. And one of the things you have to do, you got to begin to take responsibility for your actions.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I have to do when I took responsibility and said, it's okay. My father that happened because he didn't have a father. And so you got to begin to take responsibility for actions. And one thing, you have to learn how to express yourself more clearly. You got to learn how to, and that's something that I had to do because I was always shy. Because I feel like, maybe.
So who are you expressing yourself to?
the people who I want to talk to. People I want to talk to.
But they not look at, they overlooking you.
Yeah.
So I would say, even if you don't express it verbally, because this is what I did at my workplace when I felt like my manager was overlooking me. I just did it by action.
Yeah.
I did my work, not just 100%. I put in 120%.
Yes.
I try to outshine everyone, not because I want to be recognized, but just to show that, hey, I'm here. Maybe one day, he'll see what I'm trying to achieve.
But even speaking up and even expressing yourself where you're able to communicate verbally,
if you can, without any feeling like you're a victim, because I don't like the victim.
No, don't feel victim, but still, that's why you had to learn how to express yourself, and so that's why it's very important to begin to take inventory of yourself, of your abilities. Take inventory of your ability, what you can do well, what you can't do well, so that you're able to express yourself. What you know how to do,
right.
And you can show what you know how to do, and be able to communicate it what you know how to do, and so that you're not playing the victim. You say, okay, this is what I know how to do. You know your ability, because sometimes we can feel like we know how to do something, but somebody else don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
So if you take inventory, you say, I can do this, and now you just
always putting your best foot forward, always giving out your best in what you do.
Yes.
I think that can take you.
Yes, and then also change the narrative, change your perspective on how you see it.
Change your lemons to lemonade.
Yes,
Even if you see that they're overlooking you, say, you know what, it's okay.
It's okay.
Let that be your arsenal to push you to do better, to do more, and not be reliant on people's perceptions of you.
Yeah, that's so true. Change your perspective. So, because the Bible said, "As we think, so is He."
We are.
So if you don't want to be overlooked no more, say change it, like okay, and see it another way.
Make it part of your affirmations, where you say, "I am not overlooked." I'm people are.
I am more than a conqueror. I'm seen. I'm heard. I'm understood.
Yeah.
And
because some of it comes from being misunderstood.
Yeah.
In fact, most of it comes because people like me, myself, and you who don't like following the norm. Because we both have master's degree, and our families don't understand why we're not working a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't see the drive that's in us. Yes, we might not have reached where we're trying to go, but we will one day because we've got this drive in us.
Yes.
So just keep believing in our goals and dreams.
Yes. One thing about me, though, I can say this: when I went back to school to get my degrees, my bachelor's and master's degree, I did study business because I knew where I wanted to go.
Right.
So I knew I was going to school not to work at a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That was my whole. I knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I was going to school to learn, to understand how to be an effective entrepreneur.
Right.
And so when I studied marketing because I'm like, okay, that's the best, because I like traveling as well. Because I knew when you're in marketing, you get to travel. And so I wanted to travel, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I'm like, let me study marketing. And then one of my professors at the end, in my entrepreneurs class, my professor said, and I was a senior about to graduate with my bachelor's degree. He said, "Oh, you know what? To be an effective business owner, you have to know management." So I'm like, "Oh, I have to know management." So that's when I'm like, you know what? Because I knew I wanted to be a business owner and I want to be a successful business owner. So what did I do? I went back to school to do management. And
I still think school is a scam. It's the biggest scam.
Yeah, I agree.
It's okay to go to college, but don't rely on it.
Yeah, that's another podcast that we talk about something doing.
We'll do a whole podcast on that.
Yeah, we would.
College is a scam.
To me, I think so. But we will definitely do a whole podcast on that because we need to know about university and education, things like that, because You don't just have to do traditional education no more.
Yeah.
But consider your personalities. Is it a reason for you being ignored? You know, that's another one. And so another thing too, you want to make yourself more noticeable.
Oh, I'm very good at that. Oh, I mastered that one. Like, ooh, you know, and one thing is, I always like to do something and leave a footprint.
Yes, yes.
You know, people must know that I worked there, or I was
Yes.
there, or I did that. Like, even in my speaking, I remember my last speaking engagement in New York. I was the absolute last speaker after 12 hours of sitting and listening to other people. And when I stood up, this is the feedback that I got, because they were giving us feedback afterwards. You could hear a pin drop, because I possess that presence, you know. And I left, and whenever I speak, I always say I want to leave people with 3 emotions. I want people to cry. I want people to laugh. I want people to be surprised. And when I achieve these 3, my job is done.
What about inspired?
Well, because it comes from these 3 emotions.
Okay.
You know, it's the emotions: crying, laughing, and I want people to sometimes hold their breath, like that's being surprised. You know, really? You know?
Yes.
And once I achieve all these 3, I know that I'm going to leave them encouraged and inspired and leave an impact.
Yes.
You know, and it makes me different from the rest of the speakers, because I do it intentionally.
Okay.
You know, I go in knowing that I want to make sure that I achieve these 3.
Yes.
You know, maybe not necessarily them crying, you know, buckets of tears, but make them feel that sense of empathy or emotion of, you know, of feeling like they can imagine themselves in your shoes.
Yes.
That's the kind of speaker I am. And that makes me stand out, you know. And not just that, but even in a workplace, I just give my 120. Even if it's a job that I do not like, I will, because you know the Bible says, everything that you do it as if you're doing it for the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's my perspective in life.
Yeah.
I'll be hating
and
a
that's
job
one of the tips.
with everything that I have in me. But when I'm on the job and doing it, I give it 120, because I don't want people to forget the experience I gave them. Because one of the authors, I'm sorry to cut you off, baby. I forgot who said this, and maybe you'll remember, and I'll paraphrase it. People will not remember how
you make them feel.
No, they'll remember that.
Yeah, they don't remember
what you did.
But
they'll remember how you
make them feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't remember they don't remember what you do.
Yeah, what you did.
What you did, but they remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And that is very important. But here's one thing also to be noticed, and you need to get these 2 words down pat. Ask why. Ask why you're not being noticed.
You ask who? You ask them, or you ask yourself?
Ask the individual.
You can't go to a person. Why are you not noticing me?
No, but you gotta remember, sometimes you ask, you know, if you want a position, you ask what do I need to do to get that position,
right?
So that you can begin to start going to work and getting better.
Maybe there is no reason for that. Some people people just don't see you valuable.
Yes, but it's nothing wrong with asking, what can I do to grow? What can I do to be better? So ask why.
Yeah.
You know, you can ask yourself why. What can I do?
Right.
You know, so always ask them why. Because like my wife said, sometimes it's no reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do it because maybe you are not the problem. Maybe you are good. And that's why they ignore it, because you know
some feel like you're a threat.
Yes, some feel that you're a threat.
My boss, I remember my former boss felt like, my other boss felt like I was going to take over a company, you know, because the client started liking me more than, you know, and my other boss in the government job thought I wanted his position, because I was qualified to be in his position.
Yes.
But I didn't. I was just doing my best, because I always give off my best. You know, so sometimes when you do that, it threatens people.
Yes.
And it's okay. You know, just keep doing your best.
Yes.
You know, don't feel threatened and belittled by people because of their insecurities.
Yes.
Just keep on giving.
Keep giving back. Yes. And like I said, always ask why. You know why? You know, like John Maxwell, he always say, always ask questions.
Yeah.
Always ask questions. Questions will take you a long way. But also treat others as you want to be treated.
Of course,
That's
golden
key.
rule.
The golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated.
Do it
it's
to
very
others as you'd like them to do to you.
Yes, and do it because you want to, not because you have to.
Yeah.
Not because it's an obligation. Do it because
but
you want.
Also, even if you don't have to, you know, you do it because you know how it would make the next person feel. Because when you make somebody else feel good, you feel good too.
You feel good too.
You know, that's why in my line of work, I make sure that I always compliment people.
Yes.
Not from a mockery point, but from acknowledging them, like Sawubona, I see you.
I see you.
To show that I recognize them, I see them. I love your hair. I love your dress. I love your shoes. Oh my God, your smile is beautiful. That just lights a person up and makes people a person's day. And most people would say, "Thank you. You just made my day." Oh, I needed to hear that. Thank you. You know, people love that.
Yes. And so, you know, another one is self-care.
Oh, the big one. The big one, which we often don't do, and I'm
we neglect self-care.
I'm big on neglecting myself. I always know other people should be getting it or should be doing it, but I don't do it. So I'm learning
to love yourself,
because my body tells me, body's telling me, and I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, if I don't take care of myself, I will crash. You know, and we did episode on pouring from an empty cup. And I'm in that process of refilling myself. So yeah, take care of yourself.
Yeah, take care.
Because you only have one life.
Yes, one life. One life to live, and you only have 24 hours.
Right.
So use your 24 hours wisely.
Yeah.
And so don't.
Sometimes I wish we had more than 24.
Don't allow.
Like a day like today.
Don't allow people that don't matter to fill your space.
Yes. Especially negative Nancy's.
Yeah.
The drainers. Oh no, we don't want no negative Nancy's near you. You know, because we all have people who you talk to them, they will drain you to the core. They always have something negative to say. Never, you know, being appreciative of anything. Always finding some fault in everything.
Yeah. So, you know, take it as a compliment.
That they overlook
use it as fuel.
Okay.
Use it as fuel. Also, make your feelings heard. Make you feel like make them feel you are important. That's self-care. I am important.
How do you make them feel? Because they overlooking you already.
By you showing yourself that you're important. You know, walk with your head up high.
Because people will perceive you the way you perceive yourself.
Exactly.
If you're like this and you feel like you don't matter, that's how people are going to see you.
Yes.
And that's the energy you give.
That's the energy you're giving. Yeah. So, but when you got your head up high,
you attract
who you are. When you got your head up, you're going to attract, like, man, why is this person always bubbly? You know?
Why are you always so happy?
It must be.
And people actually ask those questions. Why are you always so happy? Well, because, hello. You know? Yeah.
And then the big one is celebrate. Record your achievements.
When celebrate little milestones.
Milestone. When you achieve something, when you do something something great, celebrate it.
No matter how small it is.
Record them achievements, because that will be your fuel to keep going.
And you don't have to wait for the next person to do it for you.
Yes.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
You know, clap for yourself. Pat yourself in the back. Say that you did well today.
Yes.
You know, keep going. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how great you are, because you are great, right?
Yes.
If they don't tell you, you tell yourself. Hello.
Yes. And so, you know, we hoping this encourages you.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of people out there that do feel overlooked and they don't know what to do. They don't know
painful.
They don't know how to express themselves.
We have to overcome that as well for
for
some
long time, for years.
We're still healing from that, especially with family overlooking.
Yes. And
that's the one that hurts the most.
Yes. And that's why, you know, look it out. It's too soon. We're not going to say too much. but we are planning something to either the end of the year or the beginning of the year. But you're gonna see the link so that you can be on a wait list, because it's time for us to heal. Heal that inner child.
Yeah.
You know, is that because a lot of us are broken. And a lot of us needs to be healed.
But we need to be refilled first.
Yes, we need to be,
and that's why come to you and pour to you from an
empty cup. And this and so when we come to you, we want to make sure we fill. But we are, you're gonna see it probably in the year. So look out.
Next year.
Or next year. We don't want to say too much right now because
then don't say anything.
it's too soon. But we are planning something. Because a lot of people do feel overlooked.
That's true.
And do feel unappreciated, and we want to help those individuals. And this is one reason why we started the community, and and this podcast is sponsored by Next Opportunity Window. It's for people who feel unmotivated, unsupported, overlooked, unappreciated. People like us. Yes, we're looking for us. People that just like us. Like-minded individuals where we could come together and feel appreciated. We could come to it and express ourselves and without any judgment. Why? Because everyone inside the community is like-minded. Everyone in the community
trying to reach a certain objective.
Yes, and we all supportive with what we want to do in life, with our goals and achieving success. And so, this is what this community is about. Like-minded people coming together, learning and growing. And one way we achieve that, we have daily themes where you can read the content so that you can get motivated and begin to take action on a daily basis. As well as we have monthly webinars, quarterly masterminds, training that you can go through so that you're able to grow and develop and be the best person you want to be. In order you could be coached, trained by a certified coach, speaking and trainer, myself, who will be guiding you and helping you in your journey. And like I said, we do give you a 7-day free trial, to start off, to learn about it, to pique your interest, without any obligation. No contract, no hassle. You can leave whenever you want to, because we don't want to beg you to stay. We want you to be a part of it. We want you to stay.
And see the value.
And see the value of being a part of this community and grow, because we say for you to grow, 7 days is just not enough. So when you come, you got to be willing to be committed for some time to begin to see some growth. But we give you 7 days just to test us out and to try us out, just to get a walkthrough of what the community is about, and so that it gives you an idea what you can expect inside the community. And so if you want to stay when the 7 days come, you're welcome to stay. And like I said, it's a small investment of 33 cents a day. That's less than $1 a day to stay and to invest in you inside this community. And it's $9.99 a month. And so we hope and we see you on the other side and be a part of the Next Opportunity community, where you become an action taker. That's what we call it. We become action takers. Yes, and so we'd say we want to get to know us.
So you can follow us on our social media platforms, especially Instagram.
Yes.
You'll find me at Lady Season 1, and
you can find me at Get Inspired by LJ on Instagram, Facebook, and Instagram, YouTube, and fan base. And so, but the best way to get connected with me is the community. And so you can follow us, Chilling with the Chaplains, all platforms. And we say subscribe to the channel.
Please do. Please.
Yes, YouTube channel.
And
share with your friends,
family, and your
enemies. And you want to listen to the audio version while you're on your way to work, working out, whatever. Wherever you listen to your podcast, we are on Fanbase, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Alexis, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We on wherever you listen to your podcast. And we always say, follow us, leave a review, and give us a rating. It does help us to grow the channel and to reach more people, so that more people can hear the message and the message could continue. And so we just thank you, for tuning in today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chaplain Chillers.
Yes, so we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Take care.
Yo, it's your boy, LJ Chaplin, with Lady Caesar, bringing to you Chilling with the Chaplains, where we deep dive, giving you practical concepts in ministry, business, relationship, and personal development, so we can take control of our life. Let's go and let's get it started.